Good morning, guys. Hi. Thanks for coming to class. Sorry about the late start. We had an interesting morning, like every morning. Nothing too crazy. But if you're just joining, get settled in. Take off your running shoes. Put them to the side. And we are going to do a yoga for runners. So I'll give you guys a minute to settle in. Roll out your mat, get yourself situated, and then we will get started. So I said this to Instagram because we stream live from Instagram and from Facebook, but if you never plan on running a day in your life, that is just fine. If you have already put in 10 miles today, good job, good for you. I'm going to try to get on that today. Not 10 really, but maybe a little bit. But this run is really this class is really beneficial for everybody, even like I said, if you don't ever plan on running. We'll get into some meditation as well. So we're going to do some deep breathing, some asana to stretch the muscles and the tissues and the fascias and the ligaments that we use during our runs. And then we'll get into a guided meditation. So the everything will combine. So the way that yoga is a mind-body practice, running can also be a mind-body practice, right? So the connection and awareness of mind and body. All right, guys. So get in a comfortable seat. Hello, if you're just joining. Hi, everybody. Thank you for coming. I see you guys all arriving here. Give yourself a moment to arrive. And then we'll start seated, so comfortable cross-legged space. And then close the eyes. And tune into your space here. Sit up just a little bit taller. Let the shoulders slide away from the ears. Good. Take an inhale, reach the arms really tall here. Let the belly lift, let the heart lift, and drop the right arm down. Just a gentle kind of side stretch here. Left arm up, right arm overhead. Maybe looking up. And stay rooted through both sits bones, so left and right hip. Let inhale, come up, reach it tall. Exhale, left hand down. And right arm up and over. Good. Inhale, feel the breath, feel the body lift. Exhale, turn to the right, take the right hand right behind you, left hand to the left knee, maybe as you start to rotate and look behind your right side. Good. Come back up, reach both arms up, take an inhale. Exhale, twist to the left hand really close to the tailbone, and then right hand to the left knee, sit up tall. Start to rotate to the left. And come back up to center, reach the arms really tall. Just pause here, pay attention to how the breath feels as you lift the arms, as you start to extend the body a little bit. And then exhale, take the hands down to center, maybe hands down to the thighs, just pause. And start to deepen, start to deepen into the breath. So start to draw in that Ujjayi breath. Really deep in through the nose, letting everything expand wide. And letting the breath travel out through the nose. Letting everything soften and release on the exhale. Good. Do that again. Just touch into this deep Ujjayi breath, drawing the breath in through the nose. Exhale out through the nose. Good. Allow the eyes to open. We're going to make our way on to the mat. So getting on to the mat here, We're going to come to the knees. So have a seat on the knees if this is comfortable for you. I know that runners, sometimes we experience knee injuries, myself included at the moment. So be really gentle on the knees here. Just check in. If this feels uncomfortable, you can sit up. You don't have to be like this. Good. And then we're going to lean a little bit forward. Bear with me here. This is a little bit of an intense stretch to start with, but we're going to go for it. You're going to tuck the toes underneath, sit up tall, look at your baby toes, maybe pull them aside if they're super close. So with the feet tucked in and you're supported on your knees and your hips, you're going to slide the knees forward. And then breathe into this space. So we utilize our feet a lot as runners, right? I mean, I don't really think we could run without them. Maybe we could. But giving yourself a little bit of love here, a little bit of attention to the feet, to the toes, and then breathe into any sensations that you feel. If you don't feel any sensations, slide your knees forward. You'll really start to feel it. Do you guys feel it? Yes? Good. Let's see if the breath starts to catch here. So if as you come into that space of sensation or that uncomfortable feeling here, if you start to hold the breath or if you start to tension up, see if you can relax, maybe close the eyes, guide the breath in a little bit more, just the way we did in the beginning. One more deep breath. Good, we're gonna come out of that space, come forward, untuck the toes, come into child's pose, so heels and tailbone close together, thighs connected, and then walk the hands forward. I'm going to keep my head supported above a little bit, but if you can, drop your head down to the mat. Use your hands to kind of push back a little bit against the mat to create a lengthening from the arms and the back. Maybe tailbone and heels are close together. Good, and then roll it up here, coming onto the hands and knees. So, I'm going to go this way so Instagram doesn't get a weird view the whole time. Come onto your hands and knees, and then tuck your toes underneath here. Press into your palms, lead with the tailbone, lift it up, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana, and then pedal it out a little bit here. So we have the hands and feet connected to the mat. And then maybe you just give a little bend in one knee. Maybe you shift side to side. Good. And then find a really balanced space here. Allow the heels to lengthen down towards the mat. If you have any specific injuries that you're dealing with, running related or not, be mindful of that. So if you feel any issues in the knees or in maybe the outer muscles of the legs or in the ankles, maybe bend the knees here. And if you're dealing with any hip issues, be mindful. Good. And then give a little bend in both knees, kind of look forward. And we're just going to walk to the top of the mat. So you can walk to the middle of the mat if you'd like, or the top. I'm going to stay in the middle for the sake of the angle here. And then bring the toes and feet together. Shift the weight right on top of the feet, and then inhale, lift up halfway. Good. Guide the spine forward, crown of the head reaches forward. And then exhale, Uttanasana. Come into a forward fold. Again, be mindful here. Backs of the knees, backs of the legs, hamstrings. How do they feel? What do they need? Maybe you bend deep. Yeah, just let it release here. If you need more in the hamstrings, start to straighten the legs. If you want to take the hands and clasp opposite elbows. Allow the shoulders to release. Keep breathing deep here.
Could you apologize for running late?
I did. He asked if I apologized for running late. Good. Inhale, lift up halfway. So Ardha Uttanasana, this half flat back. Good, reach the crown of the head forward. He's a stickler for punctuality. I drive him crazy. I'm like all the time. Inhale, and then exhale. Fold forward again. Clasp opposite elbows, maybe the opposite of the ones you did last time. Good, release the hands down to the mat. We're going to bend the knees and reach it all the way up to standing. So come all the way to standing. Reach it really tall. Good, arms lift. The belly lifts. Draw the front ribs in just a little bit here. Let the tailbone drop down the back. Good, take a big breath. Exhale, drop the right arm down. Lift the left arm up and over. And so just a little side bend here. Good, inhale, bring it back up to center. Lift tall. Exhale, left arm down, right arm up and overhead. Good, inhale, lift tall. Good, exhale, come back to a forward fold Uttanasana. Good, just starting to warm the body up here. Inhale, lift up halfway. And then bend the knees. We're going to step back to downward facing dog. Adjust your space. Good, take an inhale. Reach your right leg straight back behind. Good, really create kind of an even balance through the hands. And that one leg that's grounded, let the heel drop down. Good, big breath here. Exhale, slowly bring the knee towards the hand. So we're going to kind of draw the knee to the belly and then place it down to the mat right in the center. Good. And then straighten both legs. We're going to step that left foot in so it's pretty close. It's not really depending on how tall you are, maybe about 2 feet. And then your feet they're parallel with one another. You're not walking a tightrope. You're kind of on a track here. Good, toes face forward. Inhale, lift here. You can pause here and stay here. The belly is right over this right leg. If you'd like and you need a little bit more, exhale. You're going to fold forward, gently fold forward. Drop the head down. Maybe the hands come to a block. Parsvottanasana, maybe you know this as pyramid pose. Could be really gentle with the backs of the right hamstring here. And maybe you feel this in the outer leg, this IT band, be gentle in that spot. Good, inhale, lift up here. We're gonna take the hands to the hips. Start to straighten, reach the crown of the head forward, pause. Keep connected through the belly. Feet rooted, toes rooted, inhale. Good, all the way up to standing. And then we're just gonna pivot to the side. Good, so feet, we're gonna take them a little wider here. So kind of heel toe the feet out to not too wide, but not too narrow. So you be the judge here. Good, and then take the hands to the hips and see if you can get the hips in line with the ankles. Take a big breath. So kind of, we're not leaning too far forward or too far back. Big breath. And then exhale, start to hinge forward at the hips without leaning too far into the heels. Good, and then just let the hands come down to the mat. So it doesn't really matter how far the head goes. You can stay supported here, or if you feel really open in the backs of the legs, the crown of the head can come all the way down to the mat. It's really up to you. If you find this space, shoulders away from the ears, right? So don't do this. Maybe find this. Again, it's not necessary. You can stay right here. Good, and then breathe into the spot that you chose. Good, really deep breath. Really good exhales. Good, inhale, lift up here. We're gonna take again the hands to the hips here. So be mindful of your space with the feet, right? We're supported from belly and Mula Bandha. Good, inhale all the way up, good, good. You're gonna kind of pivot to the front of the mat, drop the left knee down, right knee stays bent, and then inhale, lift here. Untuck the back toe. Good, take a breath, lift tall. And then exhale, we're gonna take the hands down to the inside of your right foot. Walk the foot out just a little bit. I'm going to back up a little bit. Good. And then just observe how you feel right here. This might be where you stay. Just a note on this posture. We're going to try to keep the right foot down to the mat and straight forward. And we're going to try to hug the right knee really close to the right side of the body. So this might mean you need some support from a block to keep you lifted. Or if you have a little bit more of an open space in the hips, it might mean that you can come down good to the forearms. But we want to try to, I'll give you this angle here. We want to try to keep the knee close. We don't want to do one of these right now, right? So we're going to do this. If you can't do it without it falling open, come up a little bit higher. We're going to hold this posture. So get into where you're at. Maybe a little bit outside of your comfort zone, but don't overdo it. So we want to listen to the body and kind of honor the spaces, definitely honor the spaces that we need to be in. So breathe into the spot that you chose and that your body wants to be in right now. And so this is a really great spot for the hips, starting to open in that inner space, maybe starting to feel some of that release in the psoas muscles, the inner hips. Maybe you feel this a little bit in the outer hips. Press down through that right big toe. Keep that right knee really close to the right shoulder. Good. So if you were really far down like this, if you were down on the forearms, you're going to walk it up. We're going to heel toe the right foot over to the side. Bring the shin down to the mat. Pigeon pose. So be gentle on the knee here. If you don't come into this space very easily, you can flip over and do it on the back. If you can, stay here. Hips go forward. Left hip is forward. Right hip is back. Pause here for a second. Maybe look at the back foot. Kind of want it straight. Good. And then big breath. Exhale, walk it forward if there's room to walk forward. Good. You can stay supported again on the forearms. Maybe you find a nice little resting pose here. Good. So now I'm going to come up so you can hear me a little bit. Now we're digging a little bit more into that outer edge of the hip. So again, noticing the sensations that start to arise here. Breathing into the hip space. And notice any tension that might be coming up as we hang out here. So maybe kind of ebbs and flows, kind of comes and goes. See if you can remain present. Good. One more really good breath. Keep that Ujjayi breath going. Again, that's just the breath that comes in and out the nose. Not to undermine it. It's the most victorious breath, but if we want to think about it simply, it comes in and out the nose. Expansive on the inhales, softening on the exhales. Good. Pause here. Lift up. We're going to look at that left leg. We're going to reach for it. Reach your left arm back. Maybe heel comes to the bottom. This is a really, really gentle space. We're going to start to bring the heel towards the bottom. Any amount that it can come. Listen to the quad. Listen to that thigh muscle. Maybe you get the foot in the elbow. Good. If you are really into this posture and you can flip your grip, I'm not going to do it right now. You can come into the full posture here. Good, but gently, gently guiding that heel towards the bottom. Any amount is a good amount. This amount is also good. Good, take one more breath. Really gently guide it towards you. Good, release it here, gently. Good, we're gonna lean to the right. You're gonna swing the left leg all the way around. This looks like we're coming into Gomukhasana. We are, but we're gonna do it on the back. So we kind of have the knees on top of the knees, And then hands are to opposite ankles. We're gonna roll onto the back. I'm gonna move my mic. Last time I shut it off. Let's see here. All right, good to go. Roll on to the back. And then, so we have, this is a supine version of Gomukhasana. We have opposite ankles coming towards the heels, gently, or towards the hips. Gently guide your heels toward the outer edge of your hips. Good, breathe deep here. Maybe allow the eyes to close. Don't get too comfortable. This isn't the end. We are just getting started. Good. Undo this cross here. Come into just a little guiding the knees towards the chest. And then we're going to roll up to seated. So you can let the hands help you, or you can rock your way up. I'm going to move this mic to the back. And then we're going to take the hands, I'll back up a little bit. Take the hands right to the outer edges of your hips. Do you guys know what we're going to do here? Some of you do. You're going to draw your knees in, real tight to the chest. You're going to engage pelvic muscle. You're going to press down into the ground, and you're just going to lift whatever you can lift. Just a little bit here, right? Good, stay engaged. Good, lift, lift, lift. Good, release. Come up and over onto the hands and knees. And then coming back to downward facing dog. Lead with the tailbone. Good. And then take a breath. Good, exhale, let it out. Good, lift that left leg straight back behind. Good, feel the right heel reaching down to the mat. Gently guide it forward. Good, right to the middle of the mat. Straighten that back leg, straighten the front leg. Good, again, toes face forward. And then inhale, lift here. So this might be way too much, right? This side is different. Pay attention side to side. Good, take a big breath. And then if you can, exhale, we'll fold forward over this front leg. Hands come down. Maybe you turn the fist or the fingers towards the ankles. So traditional variation of this, we have reverse namaste behind the back. So if that feels comfortable for you, you can come into that pose or that variation. Again, any variation that suits you. And be mindful of the back of the knee, the back of the hamstring, the calf. Good, inhale, lift up. Good, hands to the hips. Good, all the way up to standing. We're going to pivot. Good, so your feet are wide. I'm going to turn around. Good, so take the feet wide again here. Sit up really tall or stand up really tall. Look at the feet. Make sure they're even with one another, toes face forward. Big breath in. Exhale, start to hinge forward. Good, and then, so just right here, pause, observe if you're leaning really far back into the heels. See if you can come forward a little bit onto the balls of the feet. Then let the hands come down. Good, find your expression here. Maybe crown of the head down. Maybe you hang out here. Maybe you hang out here. And then our hanging out is it's a mindful hang out, right? So breathing pretty deep here. Good, wherever you're at, if you're all the way down, we're gonna come up. Good, we're gonna stay low this time and we're gonna pivot, kind of walk to the front edge of the mat, drop the right knee down, untuck the right toe. Make sure you're really firm on that left foot, and then inhale, reach up. So if you can, maybe bring the belly in a little bit so we're not overdoing the heart space right now. I mean, if that feels really good, you can. But we're going to kind of, if we can, focus more on the hip space. Good big breath. Good exhale. Start to walk the hands down to the mat. So both hands come to the big toe side of the foot. Left knee is really close to the left shoulder this time. Same as the other side. And then toes face straight forward. Good. This might be a more open space for you. So if that's the case, honor the depth here. And if this is more shallow, maybe this is more tight, you can honor that as well. So big breath. And then exhale if you'd like. Come down to the forearms. Keep the left knee really close to the left shoulder. You can walk that foot out a little bit if you need to, but avoid the opening space. We're keeping it tight. We're keeping it aligned here. Good. Breathe, breathe. And again, noticing the sensations and see if instead of pushing back from this or like really resisting it, give into that space or release into it. Good, big breath. And if you were down, if you were like this, onto the forearms, or if you are really deep into it where you can come all the way down to the ground, bring yourself back up. Good. Heel toe the foot to the middle here, and then shin down to the mat. So coming into pigeon, Ekapada, Raja, Kapotasana on this side here. Maybe the heel comes towards that front hip. Rotate the right hip forward, left hip back, so square it up. Good. Take a big breath. And then if there's space, exhale, bring it down. I'm going to stay up here so I don't get into the microphone, but if you want, you can reach the hands forward. You can come all the way down. Good. So we always are mindful and aware with every movement, maybe similar to what you experience when you run, when you really get into that Zen space. I think maybe distance runners can know what I'm talking about, or even short distance runners. When you really get into the flow and you're really connected, it's sort of, you can turn into meditation, right? Or just really fully, acutely aware of what you are doing. Good. Slowly bring it up. Reach that right arm behind you. It doesn't have to grab anything. Maybe the heel comes towards the bottom. Maybe you start to bring that foot in towards, it can come to like the crook of the elbow. Doesn't have to. If your quad is resisting this, don't do it. Don't force anything. I think runners are sometimes stubborn. Are we stubborn people? Yeah. So don't force anything. Maybe find a little softness in this. Runners are competitive sometimes. Stubborn people, we need to be a little more mindful. Honor the spaces that might not be good for you and don't go into them, but don't avoid the spaces that you need to be in. Does that make sense? Good big breath. Good, gently release. Good, lean to the left. We're going to swing that right leg on top of the left. Grab a hold of the ankles. You move this mic. We're going to roll onto the back, guys. Good, so grabbing the ankles, gently rolling onto the back. This feels pretty nice for me. I hope it feels good to you guys. Good, so just guide the ankles down towards the outer edges of your hips. Maybe start to breathe a little deeper. Good. Being gentle on the knee if you feel aggravated in any posture that we're doing. I think aggravation or like pain is something to be highly aware of. Don't go into that space necessarily, but if it's like a really good deep stretch where you feel all uncomfortable, but in a way that you know you need to be, stay there. Good, one more breath. Good, undo that space, wrap the arms around the shins, give yourself a squeeze, cross the ankles. Good, come up to seated. From here, same thing we did before. You're just gonna press and lift, hold it there. One more breath. Good, have a seat. I'm gonna turn towards you guys. So in the rush this morning, I didn't put my clock out here, so I don't know what time it is. So I'm gonna put you guys in a seat right here. Just stay seated right here, maybe close the eyes. I'm gonna check the time. Good, breathe in just a little bit deeper. Oh, good, we're good. All right. So if you feel the urge to repeat that at any time ever, you can, that sequence that we just did. But we're gonna continue, we're gonna roll down on to the back. So move what you need to move out of the way, and then roll down onto your back. We're gonna take the soles of the feet together in this space of Baddha Konasana. So soles of the feet together, bring the elbows down. Good, and then come down all the way. So as yogis and runners alike, we know the importance of breath work, pranayama. So we're gonna come into some deep breathing here, knowing that we can control the breath the same way we do during yoga as we do during our runs, right? So that the guided breath, we're the ones in control of the breath, and we can start to maybe strengthen our lungs, endure more intense kind of cardio as we do that. So increasing the capacity that we breathe in and out. So we're gonna take a big deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it out the mouth. And then draw the breath in through the nose. Full of breath here, pause. Draw belly to spine. As you're ready, we're gonna exhale a tiny bit out the nose and pause. And a tiny bit more out the nose and pause. And a tiny bit more out the nose and pause. And do that until you're completely empty. Draw belly to spine. As you're ready, draw the breath in through the nose. Full of breath, pause here, belly to spine. When you feel ready, start to exhale a tiny bit out the nose and pause. A tiny bit more out the nose and pause. And a tiny bit more out the nose and pause till you're completely empty of breath. Pause in that empty space, that Baddha Kumbhaka, draw belly to spine. We'll do this one more time. Draw the breath in through the nose. Pause. Exhale a tiny bit more, or a tiny bit out the nose, pause. And a tiny bit more out the nose, pause. And a tiny bit more out the nose and pause. And do that until you're empty of breath. Pause in that space. Draw belly to spine. Good. Draw the breath in through the nose. Exhale, sigh it up the mouth. Good. And then bring the knees together. Gently drop the knees to the right. Look to the left. Good. Bring the knees back into center. Drop the knees to the left. Look to the right. Good. Come back into center. Draw the knees in. Give yourself a really good squeeze. Forehead to knees if you'd like. Good. And then gently roll to one side, or you can rock your way up. Good. We're not going to pause in Shavasana here, so we're going to make it all the way up. And then find yourself a seated space here. You can stay on the back if you'd like. I'm going to move this again. We're coming into a meditation. So we're going to do a guided meditation. And on Instagram, I think I told you guys, I'm going to it's going to be a meditation in general, but I'd like to maybe have it geared towards running and like distance running. So when we're really in the mood to do a long run, we can turn our runs into a meditation. If you've ever experienced this before, it's a really, really amazing. I think you guys must, right? If you do distance running, shout out if you're a distance runner. Anybody? Anybody short runners? Anybody don't run? But if you're a distance runner and you've experienced this switch over to meditation, maybe write in the comments what this is like, or if you've experienced this. Feel free not to too as well. But I would like to know if anybody has found their runs so mindful that they become a form of meditation. I know I have. So we're going to sit up really tall and close the eyes. Good. Take a big deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go out. And then just start to notice whatever it is you notice. So embracing the stillness and embracing the quiet. Start to observe the breath. So keeping the breath natural, just notice it. Maybe you can specifically note to where the inhale is getting ready to switch and change into an exhale. Just observe it. Maybe you start to observe where that exhale is starting to change into the inhale. And then becoming very present in that awareness. So meditation is about maybe not ridding the body of thoughts or ridding the mind of thoughts, but becoming aware of them and noticing how fleeting they are. So as the thought starts to come up into your mind space, just observe the thought and allow it to dissolve as you stay present physically, noticing sensations, noticing breath. Meditation is about, again, that mind-body connection and remaining kind of in harmony with the both. And just like we experience on our runs, we have challenges in meditation. So we have hurdles, maybe literal hurdles that we have to jump, or we have hills that we have to climb. And instead of maybe anticipating the challenge or that hard space and maybe avoiding it, we breathe into the spaces. We allow ourselves to be aware in every step, in every breath, in every stride, in every swing and sweep. And so when we are fully focused, acutely, so highly aware in the experience, we have no choice but to embody it, right? So this is the idea of meditation as well, this full embodiment of the present moment. But still stay present here just for a few more moments. Noticing the thoughts that pop up, noticing distractions, and just allowing them to dissolve with the next breath you take. And then then take a big deep breath. We'll gently move our way out of this meditation. So again, you guys can keep this going for as long as you want. You can come back to it whenever you need on your runs, on your mat. Feeling again that full embodiment of the breath and the body connection. Good. Take a big deep breath in through the nose. Exhale, let it go out the mouth. Okay, taking the hands to the heart center, and eyes to close, pausing in this moment as we seal it with gratitude for our amazing bodies that maybe allow us to run and run and run long distances, short distances, fast, slow, any amount, even none at all. The divine light in me honors the divine light in each and all of you. Namaste, yogis. Namaste, runners. Thank you guys for coming. Thank you again if you shared this last week. Wow, I was really blown away and very, very grateful. It feels nice to see that pop up all over Instagram and Facebook, guys. And shout out to anyone. I really haven't addressed this, but all of the gratitude for the donations that you guys have been coming through. This is a totally free class, but if you feel inspired or just feel moved to donate, there's a link. It pops up all the time through class, but you guys have been donating and I really, really appreciate it. So all the gratitude to you as students, and then gratitude to everyone who comes together in this online community that we've created. So enjoy your runs today. I'm going to go for a run. Are you going to go for a run? You don't have to. But if you do, have a good one. Bye, guys.